Hi, hey there, internet. How are we doing? I'm gonna do my broadcast voice to see if this translates any differently on the internet. We've conglomerated. We've spent another week figuring things out, and we're gonna talk to you about it. My name is Corey Hogger. I'm gonna be the first one talking. That's what I do right now. We got a whole eclectic group of people of us, none the least of which is our DJ Sammy Mannequin in the background over there being not technically nude, you perverts. That's her choice. Giving us our smooth bass lines in structure and in vocal tones. It's gonna be the deeper voice than me, probably. Darius Culpepper.
Hello.
Hey. And bringing the color, bringing all the extra extravaganza to our scene, we have the wonderful, vibrant Monica Salceda.
Pew, pew, pew.
Hey. And then getting all the technical aspects about this and probably putting dicks everywhere else that he can imagine putting them, it's going to be Skylar Neal.
Penis.
And that's on. Now we are definitely on track.
That is a litigatable institution, or what's the word for like when you make like a public statement that is like
A declaration?
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. I have it in the notes.
Well, now that we've gotten all of that covered up, we've got projects to do today. We're getting crafty, people. We've got wood. We are going to be playing with our wood out here.
Penises.
Now we've all got an opportunity to play with our special wood. We put options in the box. We're gonna draw them out of there, and then we're gonna come up with some ideas. So let's have Skylar go first, because we had
Don't peek,
we had to do
Skylar.
musical chairs in order for him to feel included last time.
Don't peek.
It was Darius who started it with wanting to trade
Don't
everybody.
peek.
I was just
Don't peek.
okay. I'm not looking.
I might trade you this time. Probably.
No tradesies
Oh,
this
no
time.
tradesies? All right.
No tradesies this time.
They laid the rules.
Whoa. No tradesies this time. Oh, can your hand fit in the box? Ooh, big hands.
You can go.
Oh, he wants to be last,
Yeah.
huh? Okay. Ah,
Yeah. I got la llama.
the llama. I got the jewelry box. What'd you get?
Got the cabinet.
Oh, so you get the giant. Okay, do we want to trade?
Okay. I feel this. I
So
feel
no
this.
trades.
You want to trade? What I want to
I was like, Corey was really eyeballing that.
I want to make this into like something that we can have over there, and then spin it, and then it like changes some kind of trajectory of what we're doing. So somebody.
That'd be cool, as long as, the trajectory should probably not be penises.
Well, we can.
But that is a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I'd like
it's
to
all about
see.
concession and like meeting in the middle, or like okay. So there's 3 options. Let's just I'll make sure that I reserve one area for not to be penises. The rest of them can be something of the sort. Some kind of intersex.
Viewers, do you find penises funny? Let us know. Comment below and tell us how you feel about penises.
They're probably pretty funny. I would imagine most people think they're weird and gross.
I don't know if you know this, Corey, but most of the people that watch our show are old Christian women. So I don't know. I don't know how funny they think penises are.
I think it's just repressed.
And when I say,
I think they find them highly.
Or tact.
Mm.
Tasteful jokes they like.
but I will say this: when we were painting last week, it was good. It was good. It was relaxing. It was calm, and it felt purposeful.
I felt like I was in that scene of 50 First Dates where the red-haired lady is like painting, and she's like not around the guy who is Adam Sandler.
When she's painting a bunch of eggheads?
Exactly.
You mean Drew Barrymore?
Yes.
How dare you disrespect this white queen and not remember her name?
Yeah, she really is a white queen, bro.
Oh, we love her so much. Her and Julia Roberts.
True.
Really, those are your staples, huh?
Those are,
Sandra
those are
Bullock,
White Queen
love
staples,
her.
Yeah.
I can get on board with Sandra Bullock. Nothing against Drew Barrymore. Poison Ivy was a pretty pivotal movie when I was a kid. As problematic as it probably was in filming and presentation of it, did get to see underboob.
Check this out. I found a little tick.
Why would you put that towards me?
Ah.
Kill it. We have a dog.
Oh, true.
Yeah, and why would you interrupt Corey when he's talking about underboob?
Oh, I don't know.
It's
It was.
just so much disrespect all around. You about to put a tick on
It's
this
time.
beautiful queen.
It's
You
time
stop this young
sensitive.
man from talking about underboob. Come on, bro. You gotta get ready to
The
pod,
tick's
bro.
not gonna wait.
We
It's a
podding.
wild animal.
We podding.
The
We're trying to have some
Mm.
spectacle by like showing. You know how like talk shows have
The
wild
tick
animals
doesn't
come
care
through.
about the time.
Yeah.
It's just talking away.
I think I speak for everybody when I say you're ticking us all off with your dicking around.
I think it's
I can't.
Monica
Yeah,
killed
I
it.
killed it. Why would I let it? I have a dog.
Dude,
Why
it was
would
on
I
camera.
let
This is
him?
animal
I'm trying
violence.
to-
That-
To be fair,
we
if
might
it was
get
a tick, you
flagged.
probably didn't kill it. But if
It
it's
might be
dead,
plain
it's
dead.
probably not
It's-
a tick.
You can squish
Ooh,
them, no?
It's feigned animal violence.
Not particularly easily. Usually got to burn them or
This,
salt them.
yeah, they have like a husk. They have like a husk, and then like there's basically a parasite that lives inside of ticks that uses it like a mech bodysuit, and then it
So
controls.
you got the biggest one.
Oh yeah,
It's called an exoskeleton.
exactly.
Yeah.
They have the outside skeletons, and
Did they drown?
the pink's broken.
I
It's
don't
not
think
broken,
so.
It's just not been used yet.
Oh, okay.
So shake them up first,
Very cool.
and and make sure we close them as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's kind of like manning there's lots of doohickeys to keep track of.
So Corey, we were painting last week. How did you feel, bro?
Oh, it's basically with everything that I tend to engage in. I try and be as present as I can be in the
Yes.
moments. So, just allowing myself to keep going with the painting and not judging myself for not being a very good artist.
Exactly.
And mostly not even understanding how the acrylic paint works. In comparison from my painting to Monica's, like I basically put like a light brush down when she was making an actual painting. So like
But,
trying to
my painting was the gold standard. So if you
Yep.
want to compare it to me and then from there,
structurally yours was sound. There's no way anyone was taking yours down.
So Corey, you said so you could be present. Why do you feel like it's important to be present for you personally?
Well, things are always happening, and in order to not get pulled around by things happening, it helps to situate yourself in a position to know what's going on. That way, because as long as you don't overreact in a negative way to something that's going on, usually things will work out. As long as you have a relative understanding of like what's happening, who are the people involved around it, and what's the most likely outcome if things are to keep going that way. And insofar as like making art, you can't focus on like the results more than the work. So just allowing yourself to focus on the paint stroke as opposed to like how you think it should look as a finished product, and finding the balance in it. Going with the grain. Wood is particularly interesting.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you have any questions?
Well, that's
I'm-
the beauty of this, and just kind of figuring it out as we go.
Free to answer as well. I don't have a lot of experience, but I dabble in the dark arts.
Dabble in the dark arts.
No, let me not say that.
Jill
like
of all
that.
trades.
No,
All right. No
but-
one does witchcraft over here, guys. Okay,
Yeah.
audience, just
Make
letting y'all
sure-
know.
Isn't this
Christian.
segment called like the witches who do art? It was like the it was
No,
like the crafts. It was,
don't put
it was
out all our secrets,
Friends of
bro.
the Craft.
Don't spread the secrets online. We don't
Yeah,
want
but
people
it
to
was
know
just
we're
like,
wizards.
you know, it was just like spicy.
Mm.
You know,
Okay,
it was
but
just us being
that also
cutesy.
so now that brings me to you, Monica. How did you feel like when we were painting last week?
I felt pretty good about it. I feel like it, gives us a little some. It is relaxing, and it kind of is just like, oh, okay. At the end of it, you feel like, oh, I made something while making something.
No, and that also like inspires something in me, like relaxation and having a purpose that's my jam. And yeah, I feel like we accomplished that last week and now this week as well. Also, another thing I want to ask you is, do you feel like you were fully present and fully in the moment when we were painting last week? You feel like
I do, because I think it's something, you know, advocate for ADHD, I guess, at this point. But being someone who does need multiple things, like to be doing something and, to like.
It helps you not
it's-
to feel overwhelmed by
Yeah.
any individual thing,
Exactly.
to be able to compartmentalize different functions at the same time.
Yeah. So then it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I'm doing this and we're talking, and it's just like we're just.
It does
hanging
kind of
out,
create a flow state.
Yeah.
no?
And then we're just like, and I think it's cool too to show the progression at the end and just show what we really like. You see kind of the steps along the way.
No, truly.
Like for me, with stuff like this, I like to start with a white base just because it makes the color then pop a little bit more, and you don't have to do as many layers.
I wish I knew that before I started
What?
basing all of my colors on just straight on wood.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Now mine's not gonna pop like yours.
I told you if you had questions, all you had to do was ask. I'm
get
here.
overwhelmed.
I'm here.
I don't know what questions to ask, and then I feel stupid asking the wrong questions.
If
I mean,
it's
there's
a good,
no-
sincere question,
Yeah.
it can't be stupid.
It's-
like,
Sincere question. Oh, I feel like that's a lot to ask of a young man.
I'm dead. He's got it in him, guys. I believe
Yeah, you know.
it's in
No,
him.
I do believe he got it. There are times when you get glimpses of it, and then he realizes he's like, oh shit, no, let me.
They caught me.
Let me. Quirky anecdotes. I feel like his mind is constantly saying that.
I straight up don't know what an anecdote is.
All right. Anyway, Skylar, how did you feel when we were painting
Fucking
last week?
stressful.
Stress?
Basically, it's like a bullet hell game of not fucking up, and
Yeah.
I just hold myself to like a high standard when it comes to my art.
Yes.
Have you done a bunch of painting before?
Absolutely. I used to be a painter for sets. I used to make all kinds of that painting. It's called the lily pads, or just lily pads.
I mean, do you mean you painted lily pads?
I painted lily pads. The painting, the Renaissance painting, lily pads. A massive mural for.
Oh, there is
art.
an actual literal painting of lily pads?
Yeah, it's like this one by some big Renaissance guy, but we had this show called Eurydice, which is like an ancient play that was like a Greek play, and we had it at my university, and I would do set design stuff, and so it came time to paint the set, and I would I made lily pads. I recreated it. I transposed lily pads. It was like literally almost 50 feet across, 50 feet by like 45 or something like that.
Dang, bro. So let me ask you, after completing such a thing, what type of feeling did that inspire within you?
Stress, because it leaked and the whole stage got soaked in water and paint, and they had to I had to do the work because I was the person who was the set master, the prop master. So
Right.
I had to like tear apart the wood across the bottom, basically like this. It's like a deck,
Yeah. Okay.
all painted black, and then rebuild everything. In a short amount of time because there's other productions that have to. It's like a tiny little theater.
Did it work out?
No, it fit. I had to drop out of that school and move. It was not super good. I had to change majors and stuff. That's why I ended up getting a degree in statistics instead of arts and stuff.
Was that a Full Sail? So
yeah.
this was during school.
Yes.
What school?
Full Sail.
Full Sail University.
Mm,
That's it. That's
Send
all.
it. That's the moniker. Full Sail.
Okay. Let's see. Now we all were at a very social event last night.
Oh God,
And
it
we-
was not that social.
Monica.
It was
It's
not that so. I mean, yeah,
It was social for us.
It was social.
but
It was very social for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it
I
was
know
a
y'all
30-year-old
be-
birthday party.
I know y'all
Yeah.
y'all be out gallivanting and whatnot and socializing,
hush.
but I tend to be a bit more reclusive. But what I want to ask is just kind of like, you know, for some, being at an event such as that, it could inspire some like social anxieties. So I guess what I want to ask y'all is, how have y'all dealt with social anxiety in the past and even in the present?
Used to drink. That was the main reason why I drank.
Same.
Because, like, you know, when you're a kid, you got to be around people that you don't particularly know. But, like, you know, you have to be around them all the time. And the only way to socialize is to be around these people. You got to find some sort of common ground. I'm not one for being extroverted and sporty and hanging out with all the fun kids. So my excuse was just to get as drunk as I possibly could, to just act as obnoxious as possible and hope that people thought it was funny.
Skylar's like, oh yeah.
I'm getting wasted.
Yeah, honestly, same. But more so just, I think the opposite. I think people always have annoyed me to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, and I know it's something I've tried to actively work on. I'm a brutally honest person. I've tried to work on the delivery and be like, hey, people don't understand that, like, just because you and your family talk to each other like this is not how other people speak to people they are endeared to.
Right.
Like, this isn't like a language of endearment. Like,
Yeah.
people think you might actually not fucking like them.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like, it's not that I don't like you. I'm just fucking annoyed with you right now.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with everyone at some point, you know?
Yeah.
But that's also why I had a hard time keeping, like, female friends growing up. And my parents always
Yeah, because
tell
a
me...
dude, you could just keep
I
hurting
could
their
just-
feelings and they just keep
Yeah,
coming
and they'll
back,
just
like,
keep... They
we're
don't...
friends.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's cool.
They're
You
used
can-
to it. They expect that.
Yeah, you can
That's how we're
talk...
built.
Yeah, you just talk shitty, like, all right, like, you know, and you just a
Yeah,
straightforwardness.
stop fucking off.
Yeah.
Like, just be better.
Yeah, and, you know, it's conditioning, you know. You aren't allowed the space to really be sensitive or emotional about stuff.
I feel like
And
this is our
women,
space to do
It's
that.
like to be sensitive and emotional.
Exactly.
But like, I would have friends, I remember, and this poor girl, Michaela, if you watch this, not Michaela,
Right.
this is like a Michaela from
Michaela.
like way back in the day, like in elementary and junior high.
Whoa, Michaela, reach out and we'll send you some free merch.
Right?
Go ahead.
And I did, you know, she was like one of my like best friends at the time, but more
Yeah.
so like I feel like maybe I attract people that are looking for healing or like a home. Her parents weren't necessarily always home. I think her parents were like truck drivers or something.
Yeah, it's fair.
So they were always like gone. So it was pretty much just her and her brother. And there was this particular situation that I don't feel like is really like my space to like talk about. But just hearing about it later, like an incident happened. She shared a secret with one of the other girls at school back in the day, and rumors started going around because she just like she didn't know it was weird, and she was just kind of like, which is just like.
Comment below and let us know what y'all think the rumor is.
I think she was fucking on her
dead.
brother.
No.
Let them comment
But it
below.
was like it was a lot of slut shaming type thing. So and the sad thing was is just like it wasn't even anything like that. Like everybody has like their own like version of her story, but her story was just exploited across the school and stuff. So nobody really like, and I had just moved back into town, and so people were just like kind of mean to her. So I moved in post like a rumor being spread around the whole school type thing, and found out about it later, kind of when me and her were in a little bit of a tiff. Someone felt like it was like, oh, let me tell you. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, that's weird, but why did you tell everyone?
Right.
Like, that's kind of fucked up that you told. She, like, yeah, it is weird, and she definitely overshared, but she's still a nice girl. But yeah, so the rumors went around the school and stuff, and so she didn't really have friends like that. So when I came, it was an opportunity for her to start fresh, because I realized being a military child, most kids don't get that opportunity to start fresh.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like you're marked as this person, and that follows you for the rest of your life. Shit. For me, it was just, okay, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yep.
So it was just like, that's also why I tend to overshare, and I'm like, hey, here's everything about me, like, decide if you want to be my friend or not.
Sure.
Because it's just like, you have to get to know people quick enough and develop bonds in a certain amount of time, essentially. But all that to come back full circle, my little rants. But yeah, just to kind of say that, like, she pretty much attached herself at the hip with me.
Right.
And it got to a point where I was just like I wanted to hang out with my other friends too, and I've always been someone who kind of understands that you don't necessarily mix all of your friends. Like, just because you're my friend doesn't mean that my friends have to be friends with you. I'm not someone that's talking shit about you to my other friends, but I also understand that, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're all just going to hang out, and like I can tell what personalities are going to mix and which ones aren't. And we don't all have to be like the best of friends just because you're my friend. But with that being said, there would be times that I would just come home, and I'm someone who I'm introvert and extrovert, which basically just means I can go out and have a good time and be social, but I need my alone time.
Yeah,
and
after
I need
a few
to
hours,
recharge. Like, yeah, I just leave me the fuck alone. Like, I want to just not feel like, because being the person who was always like class clown or whatever, like you're constantly in that mode of people being like, entertain me, entertain me, entertain me. And then you're just like, I don't feel like entertaining. The people that I got along with the best were the people that I felt like I didn't have to entertain in those times, that we could just like, just actually hang out and me not feel like I had to entertain them. But yeah, she would just be at my house sometimes, and I would be pissed at my mom because I was like, I told her I didn't want to hang out with her today. Why is she here? Because she was like close with my family too, but that's also because, and like as I got older, I think I kind of understood more why she was just there, and then I felt like, God, Monica, you're such a fucking dick. Like, but
it's
you know, I
still-
was just like, why is she here? I don't want her here. Like, I need my space.
Like you was a child, so
And
it's
I like told her, I
only
was
so
like,
much you can
I
expect
need
from
time
yourself back
to
then.
myself. Like, I told you I couldn't hang out today.
You gave her that I need
Please-
space speech.
Yeah, I
While
was
y'all
like,
was
please
together.
stop calling my parents to like pick you up and like, you know.
Damn.
And then like,
Sometimes,
yeah,
like that
and then like
sometimes.
as you realize, you're like, damn, that girl was just lonely and needed a family, and she was basically like an only child, you
Shit.
know, because her brother was like way older. That I remember, but yeah, so
And she became a fucking social pariah. And nobody wanted to hang
yeah,
out
so
with.
it's just like, and I think I was like one of the first people that actually like just hung out with her and wasn't like
judging her and
yeah,
assuming a bunch of bullshit.
yeah. So, but I've always had friends like that over time that just kind of like a little fucked up in the head, if that makes sense, and a little bit lonely. I guess, you know, the whole broken people type
Sure.
thing. But yeah, over the years, I've definitely always had people in that same sense like kind of gravitate towards me and want to just like hang out all the time. And then I'm like, okay. And I remember even there was even an incident with a more recent friend a few years ago. Yeah, it was definitely you. A few years ago where it was, I guess, and I don't even remember saying what I said
Right.
as harshly as I said it. But basically, I was just like saying just like that I didn't want to hang out every day.
Sure.
Wow.
Where it's just like,
And this was a recent friend?
you know who it is.
Oh, shoot, for sure. Yo, I hope you watching the podcast, and I hope you watch my Insta stories, and I hope you were jealous that you
You're
weren't at the party.
so stop.
Because, all right, go ahead.
You're
continue.
so petty.
My bad. I apologize,
No,
audience, for being
but
toxic.
it's just like, that's for other reasons, and we don't need to get into
All right,
that
yeah,
right now.
bet.
But the people are gonna be wondering now, like, what the
No,
story
good.
is.
That's how we create
Building
intrigue.
intrigue for the next
you go.
episode.
But yeah, no, it's just like, it was one of those things where it was just like, I was trying to like, I need that like,
It's
just
separation.
Yes, I just need my time alone. I need my space. I need to just drown into the shows that I want to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and just be in my underwear
Just not watch
and
iZombie
just
all the time. You know? Yeah, I feel you.
No, but it's just like, and I felt bad because she did tell me how I said, and I was like, oh, fuck, well, no wonder why you were so pissed at me, and I was like, sorry. But I've tried to work on my delivery over the years, but...
Yeah, I know it was probably bad.
Oh, it was probably so fucking mean. I'm mean, dude. I've never, and that's something that, like, I try to tell people, I'm kind-hearted, but don't ever be under the, like, I've never said I was a nice person.
Sure.
I'm not a nice person, and I understand that. I'm a kind person, and I'm polite when I need to, you know, like, I'm not rude, but, like, I can be fucking mean, because I just feel like at some point
It's more helpful.
Yeah, sometimes you do need to be fucking mean to people.
And it's, you know, it's for their own good too. It's usually if someone's being mean, it's not out of indifference.
Yeah.
The more you are upset, the more you care about something.
Exactly.
And I honestly, I do think that kind of correlates with like trust in a relationship, like whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, or whatever. I think trust is definitely like one of the paramount hallmarks of a good relationship. So even when you are being like mean, that person on the other side can trust, like, okay, this has to be coming from a place of she's saying this because she wants to help me.
Yeah.
So that also kind of leads me into my next sort of questioning is just kind of like, what does trust mean to y'all in a relationship?
Trust. What's that song? Was that Keisha Cole?
Yeah. Let me be the one who can take you
It's
from all the things you've
Corey.
seen.
What is that?
Trust.
Well, I think it's one of the most important parts about dealing with people, because again, it's one of those things for helping to be present. If you can be a part and engaged in something, you gotta be able to hope that other people are at least somewhat focused on that trajectory, and that's like where the trust comes in. You gotta hope that other people are putting forward their best foot to accomplish whatever they think is best. Now, the most important part is recognizing that everyone doesn't view things the exact same way. So just because like I might not agree with something doesn't mean that it's okay to assume that they're doing something nefarious. Because I think a lot of it stems from just previous issues. You end up holding on to things that happened in your past as a guiding post. So people tend to assume the worst that can happen out of a new situation when similar
It's like
similar traits end up coming up, and like similar correlations in situations with different people will cause you to assume that they might not have your best intention, but I think the important part of trust is allowing yourself to trust yourself and knowing that you've done enough to make your impact as positive as possible. That way, regardless of what other people end up doing, you know how you've interacted with the situation, so you can trust in your own integrity without worrying that someone else's lack of integrity will fuck up your day.
Yeah, so basically, just letting your actions and intentions be aligned with one another. So regardless of the outcome, like, you can hold solace in that fact. Yeah, I feel that. What about you, Mo?
Yeah, I think I'd say pretty much. I mean, you know how I am about trust. Your girl has trust issues.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, shut up. But like it pretty much, and you're right. All of our trust issues come from an experience where someone really just let us the fuck down, and we believed in them, and we trusted them. Let's be honest. Usually, it's involving manners of the heart, whether that be a parental figure, a friend, or a relationship, like a romantic relationship. It really is up to you to kind of like, I think trust and control kind of go hand in hand. I think understand what's been the hardest thing for me is just like not equating the things that happened to me bad, like trying to understand that like it didn't matter how good of a person I was to that person. It didn't matter what I did for them. It didn't matter. It really just
It wasn't your doing that made them
like,
fuck off.
There's nothing differently that because I think as women, we tend to go through this, what if I would have done this differently? Or what if I wouldn't have done this? Or maybe things would have been different if, we had gone this route, like with the relationship or whatever, and then just really being like, no, what if, like, you did the best that you could. Can you really say the same for the other person? And even if that was their best, is that best really what you deserve? Like, do you feel like that's really good enough for you? And are you okay with, like, settling for this? And that even goes with, like, friendship stuff. It just really comes down to, like, just be like, and I've been saying this a lot lately, but I think even mostly just trying to say it to myself, where
Sure.
it's
Do your mantra.
yeah, where it's just like, you can't expect people to be somebody that they're not.
Yeah.
Even if you want them to be, even if you know it's better for them to be this person or to handle you in a certain way. And it's just like, it does get to a point where it's just like, like I've tried to come, like, and granted, like, I'm not, by no means I'm saying I'm good at this.
But it's something you're working on.
Yeah, like, somebody has a hard time with communication. And it's a trigger for me because I've been in situations where people, every single serious relationship I've been in, I was dealt with in a manner that was not healthy. It was oh, you're freaking out, I'm shutting my phone off and I'm not talking to you for the next day. Like, I'm completely just, ignoring you. Being hung up on, being ignored, and being told that someone's going to do something and they don't do it are some of my biggest pet peeves. Holy shit. There's a squirrel that just stopped. I was like, I just seen it jumping, and I did not know the direction the squirrel was trying to jump. But it's definitely, like, triggers for me, and they're like, well, it's like, these are the things that, like, I think, like, break my heart the most, because being someone, like, and you have to understand, not everybody's going to treat you the way you treat them, even if you fucking want them to. But also understanding that there's really nothing you could have done to make them treat you differently. Like, that was completely out of your control. And I think just coming to terms with the fact that it's just like, even if you're not answering me, like, if someone's going to cheat, they're going to cheat regardless, and it doesn't matter. And you just have to trust that, like, and just be like,
that you can make it through either way.
Yeah, and it's just like, like, trying to see things and understand that, like, and it's work. And if the other person is, like, willing to work with you and, like, do stuff, like, you guys get through it together, but also doing the self-work and recognizing that, hey, like, although, yes, you do understand these are triggers and stuff to me, like, and we are trying to work on this and you're trying your best, understanding that there's certain qualities that just, like, it's just not just with me. This is across the board.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, this is, like,
places that people can learn to grow. Growth is important for everyone.
Yeah. But then just try not to take it so, like, oh, this is personal, but also understanding that, like, okay, there's efforts that are being made here as well. And if someone truly didn't care about you, like, girl, some of this is just your trauma speaking, like, just, because it was really bad, honestly. If y'all, yeah, it was just like a whole nother girlfriend across the country for, like, 2 years. And, yeah, and it was like a back and forth, and I found out, like, I want to say 6 months into it, and by that point I was already, like, stupid in love, and I don't say that lightly. I was fucking stupid. Like, doing shit that now I, like, cringe at the very thought that I was even able to be so manipulated.
We all been there.
Yep.
But I was definitely young. I was, like, 18, 19, 20. And I remember doing the whole ultimatum thing, being like, by my 21st birthday, if, and then I just decided that I was done and I wasn't going to deal with shit like that again. And then I dealt with shit like that again twice. And then was just like, you know what? And then I was like almost like 10 years deep in like being just like single and just like, no, I just don't want to deal with people at that level because it just didn't feel worth it to me. Like the risk wasn't
Worth the reward.
no. So it's just like, you just don't take people seriously or whatever. But yeah, I think for me, learning how to trust is still something that I'm working on. And then even with friends, it kind of sucks, especially like, out here it's hard. A lot of people are pretty like self-serving. I mean, I guess that goes for everywhere you can find them, but I feel like it's
Well, this place attracts more of that.
Yeah, it's like concentrated because everybody's out here chasing a dream and just is willing to do whatever it takes, and sometimes that means shitting on your friends. But also just, and it's like a mentality too, where I don't even know that like, I think it gets confused in the culture, people talking about like self-care and confusing it with just straight up selfishness. Like that's not the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Like ignoring your fucking friends and not telling people what's going on when they're reaching out, like people that genuinely like fucking care about you and stuff. Like that's not self-care. Like blowing people off and shit. Like that's not self-care. Like that's just you being a shitty friend.
Yep. Yeah, because it also, self-care is important to recognize the people who are in your support system. So shutting out other people is definitely not conducive to taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And it's just like a stupid excuse to be able to be shitty to people and just cut people off, But, yeah, it is hard to trust that people are just going to just be there for you in a manner in which you, like, want them to be. But then understanding that people show up in the best manner in which they can and accepting that as, like, hey, it may not be how I would have wanted it to happen or how I would have done it, but you are here,
The effort has been put forward.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
So, does there ever get to a point where, your tolerance for people being there in the manner in which they can, does your tolerance ever grow a little tired and you're just kind of like, okay, this seems like an excuse more than something that is
Oh,
actually...
for sure. And then when I get to that point, I'm just like, like I said, I'm pretty fucking straightforward with people.
Right.
So it's just like, and it does get to, like I said, I've been working on the delivery and I try to move with grace. I try to, like, what would Jesus do myself,
Of
like,
course.
and just be like, okay, like, we're going to handle this, like, try to be understanding. This person is dealing with XYZ issues and stuff. But it's like also understanding, like, okay, but that doesn't mean you have to tolerate, like, just someone just being a shitty fucking friend.
Yeah, repetitive actions aren't necessary. Like you can, it's easy to understand if someone's going through a tough time and have an outburst. But if outbursts are repetitive, you gotta, and especially, so more of the important part is communicating how, like if something makes you uncomfortable, like if you communicate that something someone's doing is like bothering you or making you uncomfortable, and then they continue to do that action knowingly that it bothers you, that's probably the biggest issue.
Yeah. Well, because it's just like, I mean, there's a couple of situations that currently I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate, honestly, when it comes to my relationships outside my relationship.
Sounds messy.
I'm dead. You know what I mean. My
No, I'm fucking
friendships.
with you, I'm fucking with you.
My friendships, my kin, but mostly, like, I have a friend that always acts like she's going to show up, and will even go as far as be like, "Oh, do you need anything?" And like, I'll just name
We're talking
something.
about you, Corey. We're talking about you.
I'm dead.
Just so you know.
And I'll just say something like simple, you know, like just to like kind of just like.
Give me that green.
But like I think in my heart, like I already knew. Like I'm like I even when I get the text, I'm like, bitch, you're not coming.
Nah.
Like you haven't showed up for the last like 3 of my birthdays that
Bruh,
you
it's
and
like
have
that
found an
kid when
excuse.
dad says he's gonna come and then dad like doesn't show up. It's like that. It's that same level of disappointment, and I think that's why it kind of like angers me a bit when that happens to you, because it's just like
I think I'm to the point though where like I just don't even believe. Like for me, it's just like, and I've had conversations because you know, this person has called to like talk to me about stuff, and you know I lend a listening ear, and I love this person to death. We did at one point share a very unique friendship.
oh gosh, Corey, is that code for gay?
Ah,
It's
Lesbian?
not.
I don't think
Oh
so.
my God.
All right. I'm just.
If it
yeah,
was-
women are way cooler about it. Oh, she was my girlfriend. We were like besties, but we loved it.
But yeah, like it's just like we were pretty close, and we did a lot of shit together. It was probably like the most fun, like the best 2 years of my life. Like we had a lot of fucking fun and did a lot of shit together,
Yeah.
and we really like got along on a level that I felt like I hadn't gotten along with anybody. Cause it's hard. I'm a little bit nerdy. I'm a little bit quirky. I'm a little bit like
Rock and roll.
yeah.
There we go.
I'm a little bit of everything, so it's hard
Big
to
country.
find
Can I get the
somebody
white one?
who is into a lot of the same shit that I am. Like on all levels. Like I have friends that I cheered with that like, yeah, we can go out and have a good time, but when I bust out like the nerd shit, they're like, that's weird.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, that's that weird shit Monica likes.
that-
Oh, I knew
I
you
need
would
that
like
yellow.
that.
What, yellow?
Yeah.
I knew Monica, that looks like some weird shit Monica would like, you know? And I was just
Yeah.
like, I have a lot of, well, I had a lot, I found that was more of a thing when I was living in Arizona. A lot of my friends just didn't really, like, I never really fully connected with anyone like that. Because it was just like, you know.
It's a local town mentality.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, Monica likes to wear weird shit. Like, you know, you like to wear stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, you laugh it off. And it's just like, but you know, it's just kind of like, yeah, you hate that I wear weird shit and I'm still hot. Like,
Yeah.
True.
but like, and then that's just.
It's because you're confident enough to
To-
make a statement or like stand out.
Yeah, and to step outside of like the social norms and
That
just
small
because
town
like
box
yeah,
that
where it's
they'll
just
try
like
to keep
I
you
don't
in.
want to wear this basic bitch shit. Like I want to like, you know, like I like to wear something
You
like
don't want to shop at Forever 21, and that's okay.
Well, I don't get me wrong, they do have some cute stuff here and there, but like
All right, friends of the show, Forever 21.
I'm
my
so
bad.
dead. No,
offense.
there are fast fashion and stuff, but you get what I'm saying. There's like a specific style that
Right.
it's just like you like dressing. I don't know, like a girl, I guess.
It's like-
Aw.
But like a girly, and like even though like I did used to wear my little, you know, my little outfits, I've never really been into fashion, just into my own style,
Right.
if that makes sense. And even then,
That
if
is
you,
the whole point of fashion.
and that's what people don't get. But like, here's my thing with that, where I'm just like, why would you want to just look like everybody else? Like, in this, like, I don't know. Like, I get, yeah, we're all technically just buying the same clothes because that's what's in rotation right now. But adding your
Outlet
own little...
stores for life.
Yeah, but adding like a little, like, flair of your own to it. Like, your own little... Ooh, I don't know. I get, like, seeing stuff that's popular and being like, oh, I like that. I want to, but not
Just
wearing
doing
it
that.
just because it's like, oh, this is what we wear. This is what's socially acceptable to wear.
Yeah, that's
And that for me was always kind of like the difference, where it's just like, yeah, I'm wearing high heels and a skirt with a leg slit, but I paired it with a boy's tee that I cut into off the shoulder crop of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's like, all right, cool, and like a little like hat or something. I forgot how quickly paint does not dry on wood. It takes much longer.
Hey.
But yeah, I don't know. I just went on a long rant about clothes and shit, and I don't even remember what the original conversation was about, because y'all just let me go off the
We're just
rails.
talking about relationships and trust in those
Oh,
relationships.
yeah, and then our
How
friends.
important that can be. Yeah, and friends.
And how our friends.
let you
Oh,
down.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that was one situation where just like, you know, it just like, and there's been discussions as well where I'm just like, girl, we don't have to fake the funk. I know you're not coming. Like, just don't even, like, we're to the point where it's just like, don't even say you're gonna come. Just be like,
right.
I'm not gonna come. Like, and then you're like, oh, making up some excuse. Oh, sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, don't even apologize. Apologize sets the tone that you mean to atone. And you've proven over the last couple years that you don't. Like, it's the same thing. It's not precedence for changed behavior. So just like, don't even apologize. Just tell me you weren't gonna make it. I only invited you basically as a formality, and just so you knew, hey, like, you are invited and I would love if you showed up, but no one's expecting you to come.
Sure.
Because you haven't showed up. And that's fine. Deal with your own thing, and I get you're dealing with your own life. But then it does get to a point where it's just like, but also just understand that, like, we're not really like friends. Like,
Yeah.
and that's not even me saying it like in a, oh, we're not friends anymore.
No, it's just growing
like,
apart.
Yeah, and like that's cool too. You call me when you need someone to vent to, and that's fine. But again, you don't have to pretend like we are like compadres like that anymore. You know? Like, it's just not close, and then it just seems like even after having that conversation, still not understanding what I was saying when I said that. Where it's just kind of like, girl, just don't, like, understand I don't expect things from you. You know? Where's the black at? Oh, Skylar, the black, please.
I also just have a little too much black you can use.
Oh, okay.
So how about you, Darius? How you reconcile trust issues?
You know me. I start with toxic and then work my way to altruistic. It's been very tough because growing up, my grandma, pretty much just kind of like instilled in us is like, you understand you can't trust most people.
Sure.
And my granddad would often say, if something or someone seems too good to be true, that's because it is. And I started off like as a kid, just not really trusting people that much. And then, of course, you're in school, you're around other kids. Of course, you want to have a friend to go through the shit with. Like, nobody wants to go through school alone. So, make friends with people. You open yourself up, and sometimes in ways being a little bit too trusting, and then sometimes that shit comes back to bite you. And so, for me, it was really just a lot of show and prove, and just kind of letting people show me who they are, as opposed to just making assumptions and just being like, oh yeah, no, so and so is my homeboy, he would have my back through any situation. It's like, nah, you gotta let a nigga show you that.
Sure.
Because when when the shit hits the fan, that's really when you find out who your friends are. When shit hits the fan, when arguments arise, like your friends ain't the person that you always have pleasantries with. Your friend is the person that you can show your rotten side to, your toxic side to, and then they're like, you kind of fucked up, let's figure out how to get through this and still be on good terms. Like, that's what a real friend is. And so it's just for me learning that throughout the years is it's something that's helped. You need to go through shit with people in order to know who is around
Sure.
you. It's like,
Yeah, experience is most of it.
yeah, like it's all of the pleasantries and shit. Like, yeah, miss me with it. Like, who am I in the trenches with? Who am I in the field with? And that's what really matters most to me. So, you know, when fucked up shit happens, it's like, and still being able to come back to a good place, because it's like, well, you've seen me at my most toxic. You know, Corey, you've seen me at toxic levels, but we still manage to like come back to this place because it's not we've moved past the point of having a superficial relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like, man, that dude is so great because he's always smiling and he's always in a good mood. No, now it's just like, it's either you like the person.
Who has ever said that about
Yeah,
you?
right. Never said
I
you're all
mean,
smiley.
I mean, you know, when I was like 8 years old or something, but
Uh-huh.
like, but like, now it's
Always
just
smiling,
like,
always in a good mood.
it's like, but now it's like we're at that point where
You
I'm
can
just,
accept the good and the
you
bad,
can,
and
yeah,
it's real.
exactly, and it's just like, oh wow, but I guess y'all motherfuckers kind of like me as a person a little bit,
Well,
you know.
we better
I
at
guess-
this point,
I
right?
guess right at this point, right, it would be a little weird if not.
Yeah.
For real, it's the truth. And Skylar, I know you've had your fair share of friendships,
Absolutely.
relationships, and whatnot, bro. How you
Absolutely.
handling shit?
Basically, I'll treat every relationship that I get into as, like, have you ever read Sun Tzu, The Art of War?
Of course.
Hell yeah. So, basically, any interaction that I have is low-key a trial of faith and loyalty, and so I put red little guy. See, that was a trial. Nobody protected me from that mosquito, and you all failed.
Uh-huh.
You know, have you ever heard the story of the boy who cried wolf?
I swear there was a mosquito. We'll pull the tape up. I
This is what
promise
happens
you.
when you're always trying.
Can we get instant replay?
It was
Is
a
that
big
thing? Is
mosquito.
that in the budget?
It
Is
was
that
like
in the budget?
it was a Jumanji fucking mosquito. It was like
See,
that big.
This is what happens when you're always trying to fib with us.
I
we
promise
don't know what's
you.
real and what's
yeah,
not.
we really
We
like-
would have been there.
Bro,
We
okay, no,
forgot it
Scott,
was
this
serious.
is something that I always like thought about.
Mm.
I'm thinking maybe I know, but I figured I would ask you, how did you and CJ become friends?
Oh yeah, just through the world of comedy and laughter. We shared a lot of laughter together. He would be
How'd
a
you meet
comedy
him?
store.
Comedy store?
Yeah, he had this green jacket that really stood out of the crowd. You remember, like, it wasn't a. It was probably Philadelphia. No, it had to be Celtics. It was probably Celtics.
Probably because
Yeah.
you know you got Boston ties as well.
Yeah. Basically, we do little things here and there, run around, have fun, and yeah.
And so, like, what was it like about his energy
Oh.
that made you say, yo, I'm gonna be friends with this dude?
Bombastic, full of enthusiasm and jovial. He could do a lot of a lot of getting conversations going in big groups or whatever. And yeah, like
It was a fearless conversation starter.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, and then like you'd feel good. You'd feel like confident going up after him or whatever. Like he'd open up a crowd really well and get a good energy going. And in a little tiny, I remember there was this big empty room. It was on Sycamore, but it wasn't Sycamore Tavern. It was like some like it looked like a furniture store that they rip everything out of. You remember that? Like, there was like a 3-year period that they were just like a surplus of shitty little rooms. Yeah, like there was like legit one that was just a utility storage thing. It was like people were just doing it out of everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'd make that thing pop off, which kind of hard to do. It's like everything worse for comedy. Super high ceilings, super echoey, like a shitty little PA, and everybody's quiet. Yeah, I think somebody who makes you laugh or whatever, it's undoubtable. It's like for me. It's
Yeah,
like,
so that's like one of the hallmark
yeah,
qualities.
you share laughter with somebody. Confucius says, when you share laughter with somebody, you become like family. It's like breaking bread around a table, essentially. It's
That, you know what, that is fair because you can laugh around somebody. Yeah, that does tend to inspire a good bond because most of the time the reason why comedy clubs are so dimly lit is because people are self-conscious about laughing in front of other people. So you dim those lights, you kind of dispel some of that anxiety. So yeah, no, I fuck with that.
oh.
I went through that too, trying to grab it, and you
You're like,
just
"God
painted
damn
it. Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get a canopy in here. Like we could just get a 10 by 10, a polyester canopy over us. We try to shroud in. We get too high ceilings. I can literally see the sky. I look up, like it's not conducive for comedy.
So,
Well, this also isn't specifically stand-up comedy.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is more like sit down comedy.
I didn't know we were trying
not
for
even
comedy.
that. No, I
Like,
was
It's not a
about-
comedy
I was about
podcast?
to say.
Well, kind of. In relative terms, no podcast is a comedy podcast because it's all free form and improvised, and there's no real set
Damn.
mechanic to it.
I have egg on my face. I keep going to Apple, and then I go to comedy, and then like I be listening to these podcasts, and I be laughing. I look like a goddamn fool.
Well, as long as you're aware of it.
They got.
I'm just kidding, bro.
We have genres or whatever, and I've been putting it under comedy or whatever. Like they make you. There's like 9 genres of content that you can put out. Then I guess this one could just be like technically a journalism.
Well, it's more so, okay. The whole point of the low ceilings is because of reaction. There's no one reacting. That's
Yeah.
why it's not the same as like improv or stand-up. Because it's just, you're essentially monologuing. Now, it can be under the vein of being silly and comedic, but
Yes.
it doesn't hold the same weight as being in a room doing stand-up comedy.
I will say how I judge if I know someone really fucks with me or not, like if they're comfortable, is, well, not now anymore, but like when I, because I don't have a car, but when we'd be in the car and, you know, you blast those songs, if they go for that note that they know they can't hit, but go for it comfortably and do it terribly comfortably, I'm like, oh, we're friends and you fuck with me. You feel safe.
Sure.
And you feel comfortable.
That's how you knew
when someone
Darius
sings
like
in front of me, and
When you
I
can look
tell,
silly, but it's sincere.
yeah, when it's just like, no, like I feel this song and I want to sing this, and I know I can't sing, and you know I can't sing, but
But it's the moment.
yeah, but we're gonna sing this terribly together. I think that's probably. I think that's one of the reasons why I love karaoke so
Sure.
much. It's just I think it's a place where people can come together, and even if the world says you can't sing, you're gonna sing at the top of your lungs and say that you can, even if you can't, if that makes sense. And it's just like a good. I think it's a good compilation of just like you get a little bit of everything. It's like a melting pot of like let's like you get a little country, you get a little R&B, you get a little pop, you get a little
Rock and roll.
90s, yeah, a little rock, a
Bro,
little.
who is doing country out here in LA?
Oh, I've heard a few.
Boy,
I do
these-
sometimes. I'll
these crystal
bust it,
tone
but like
girls
Carrie
will
Underwood,
give you some
but
country.
you know.
Yeah.
Why I don't understand what it is about country that like elicits such a visceral, aggressive reaction from me. I was just walking back from Ralph's one time yesterday, and I was going across the crosswalk, and then I heard like I think it's specifically pop country something yeah, just someone was playing it in their car, and yeah, I just had like this feeling in my gut of like disdain and I don't know what it is about popular country music that does that. I think it's the
It feels probably inauthentic
mhm.
because it's so glossy and pop manufactured that it loses the character it was originally meant to be presented.
Yo, not to get too off course, but last night at the party, what was something that stuck out to y'all the most?
Her cousin's ass.
Wow.
You just
Wow.
You just
It's-
that was a shot from the stands. That
He
just
meant
went
that.
off
She's
the-
gay, right?
He
Oh,
meant
I
that
didn't
with
know
his
that.
whole heart.
I
Yeah,
know.
that boy- that boy-
She's
God
like
damn.
gay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, that's wild.
yeah, but that boy.
I just gave up my hopes.
He
She's.
shot. I mean, bro, you getting sex change. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
I don't think she likes white girls.
Ha!
Oh, word.
I can
Probably
while I'm
don't.
getting my sex change, I could just
Probably
like
don't.
ask them to
Can't
throw in some melanin
empathize.
or whatever.
What about you, Corey? Anybody's ass or the Skylar still your line?
No, I did end up listening and playing like country music out here in the patio. I found out that Monica's related to Waylon Jennings.
Oh my god, you heard that? Okay, it's like a family conspiracy. My Nana used to be like a dancer. So, she was definitely
around
Like
the
around.
scene
Yeah.
when the highwaymen were going out.
Yeah. And so my Aunt Debbie, it said that, huh?
The ballet? Ballet?
You know she was a stripper.
Oh,
Ha!
all right, cool. Go ahead.
I'm trying to respect her,
Yo, we support the
R.I.P..
naked hustle.
R.I.P. Nana.
Yes.
You did what you had to do.
Oh, absolutely.
No, but so apparently, so she says, I don't know. But it's because she's the only one who, like, we're not 100% sure who her father is.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so the first three have the same dad, and then the last three have the same dad, I believe. There's 8 of them. I'm trying to think. Yeah. I know my Nana was very, I don't know. It's messy. My family is messy, bro. The whole tree is a hot mess. But yeah, so I guess when she was dancing or whatever, like, it said either him or Buddy Holly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is not a comparison out. That's not like two things that I would have considered to be an either or. Waylon
Well-
Jennings or Buddy Holly.
It was just, they just, I guess, rolled through around the area of my Nana.
It's a very
was in.
specific area of time too. Then it's like
Yeah.
55 to like 59. When did that plane crash happen? I think it was 59.
Yeah, so,
The day the music died.
and they're thinking Waylon Jennings just because of my Aunt Debbie's appearance. And because she is taller than everyone else in the family. So I will say that. Yeah. And by taller, I mean we're all like, I'm tall in my family. So,
I did hit the higher end of the spectrum on my extended family. I was the tallest in my immediate family, but it's only me and my parents.
I'm so dead. Yeah, no, I'm definitely up there. Like my mom's 4'11". That's pretty much where everyone peaks.
My mom was actually taller than my dad. So my dad is like 5'6", 5'4". My dad's like 5'4". My mom was 5'6", and I'm 5'8".
Nice. Yeah, we're pretty and you know what cracks me up about that though is my mom will up and down be like, I'm American, like claim that we're like white and stuff. I'm like, our stature speaks to the fact that we are probably super fucking Mexican. Our stature screams like Mexican.
Anybody
So
need
where
any more
is-
paint? I got a lot of paint.
I might use some of the red.
Need some red. All right.
Yeah. So, we're nearing kind of where we're.
Oh, I'm just getting started.
Oh, okay. Let's get it started. What time are we at? Have you been out here for a while or not really?
I don't know.
Nah, man, I've been keeping it time. We're making decent time.
Yeah.
Yeah, about like 20, 30 more minutes.
Oh, I got paint. See? This is why I gotta wear an apron. I'm a mess. But yeah, so they were like, Waylon Jennings, and I was like, but I did look at pictures and I was like, maybe. It is a huge possibility. But yeah, and she likes to tell people that too because she likes to be like, oh.
Yeah, that's a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh, Aunt Debbie, please. She's the one who tells all the dated jokes.
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
But like, you get it though, right?
Yeah.
I can't say this, but I can say this.
and then you're just like, please stop talking. Dude, and oh God. I will say, no, let me just not hurt feelings. She's my Nina. So, well, she's my godmother.
your least favorite one. It's okay.
Babe, we can't say that here. What if she watches it and she's all viewing and then she's like, I was supporting your
It's
career.
a comedy podcast.
Uh-huh.
It's a joke.
No, we just kind of like, I think after she tried to fight me when she was drunk once, like, and pinned me against the wall when I was in high school, I think I was kind of like over it at that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
You gotta go for them knees. She's 6'2", so you gotta go for them knees straight like that.
She's a big woman. So the women in my family, they're not small women. They're not short, but not small.
Very strong, low center of gravity. I feel you.
As he commented about my cousin, you could tell
The
we're
stature.
all pretty built in a similar manner for the most part. But yeah. So she is all that, but at like 5'10" or something crazy like that, just towering over the rest of us, you know, and like probably like 280 pounds or like something. Like she's just all titties too, and so she's just like a big woman. And so I was like 17 when this happened, and I was like fucking mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, is she gonna kill? Because she like choked me and like slammed me against the wall and was like, "You're going to respect me," because like I mean I was definitely sassy with her because I've always been of the they come
a little
from a,
overly sarcastic.
yes, and also just kind of like just because you're an adult doesn't mean you deserve my respect.
Yep.
Especially if you're gonna be constantly just being disrespectful towards me, towards no, like for no reason,
Yeah,
and it like
that's fair.
felt like a power move most of the time, where it's just like, oh, respect me because I'm old, but it's just like I get that, and I'm not just like disrespectful for no reason, but you do pick on me to a certain level where it's just like I'm not just like I'm not a kid anymore, like I'm not just going to sit here and like take it type thing.
I will bring her through. She can choke slam me against the fucking wall.
Young man,
Be content.
She
Don't speak
would
too-
destroy you.
don't speak too
yes,
soon, young
that is
man. I don't know.
everything I
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, no.
Deborah Gay is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh damn, she is too.
No,
Getting
her
fucking
name is
break.
Deborah Gay. That's her middle, and that's what I call her to piss her off. Sometimes.
Nice.
I'd be like, Deborah Gay.
Bro, there was a dude whose last name was Gay in
poor
my
guy.
school. Right. He was still cooler than me, though.
Corey.
Hey, that's Corey. He's just building other people's confidence. That's all. Just building them up. Man. That was the one. Like, this is gonna sound so boomerish, but back in the day when we was in school, if your last name was Gay, you had to be good at football because that was the only way you wouldn't get made fun of.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make fun of him. All right, just maybe like one time.
I feel like
but,
baseball. I feel like a lot of kids got away with playing baseball to be cool. Because, like, you don't have to be very athletic to play baseball. You just got, and then you just get to wear a uniform. But it still counts. I still didn't do it. I was never big on the team sport aspect of things. That's why I liked skateboarding. But even with the skateboarders, I was not like a good skateboarder. So I'd see other kids skateboarding and be like, wow, they're like actually good at this. And I'm over on the flat ground trying to land a kickflip.
I get that. I used to want to be a skater girl so bad. So bad. I was like, hell yeah. This is like when I like was first introduced to like Avril Lavigne too, and I was like, she's so cool. I want to be punk rock, like I want to do this, and I was like, oh, I want to be a skateboarder, And then I found out all it takes is one tiny pebble to ruin your entire fucking day.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Actually, I think I'm okay.
Dang.
I think I'm good.
I still
try
shot
something else.
myself through it just for no reason. I never did anything. I entered one competition. I was like super stoked on it. We had a couple of friends. So like my friends that I'd accumulated going into high school, I'd made one because a bully had him hit me in the arm in like study hall or some shit. And like we found out that we lived on the same block and we just like started hanging out. And then another one was in study hall. Like we just fucking did nerd shit. I think tech decks. I think we were just like sitting there fucking around with little hand skateboards. So like we'd all get together for like a few years and skateboard, get on our bikes, go find weird random places to skateboard and just fuck off. And then, oh shit, lost my entire train of thought of where I was going with that.
You did a skateboard competition.
Yeah, so like we all got together the night before this competition, and it was in an entirely different city. So we had to drive like 30 miles to go to this little skate park that had a quarter pipe, a fucking block that had a rail on it, and then a drop-in ramp, and then like a side box and a rail. So it was like 5 things on a slab of concrete in the middle of fucking nowhere off the highway in Minnesota.
Nice.
So we got there at like 6 in the morning. Bro, I was hyped. We were like the first ones there. And it started filling up, started around like 10 o'clock, but you had different divisions. They had like beginner, intermediate, and expert or whatever.
Oh gosh.
So I was like 17, had been doing it for like 3 years. And I was like, whatever. I should probably go intermediate. And I was very wrong. I landed like, I don't know, a trick maybe.
Oh, Corey,
There was like,
no.
in the beginner group, there was like little kids like doing fucking grinds off of the angled rail. I've never been big on grinds. I don't like the idea of something being just like in the middle of me, where like the most likely event is me to split out and get split up.
Oh.
Damn. So,
So how did it
I'm
go?
saying, yeah.
I mean, I got some laughs. Because here's the thing. Even then, I knew I was a ridiculous dude. Because I just have always held true to the motto is just like being the only child. Most of my interactions are peripheral. It's like I did daycare, and then you go to school and you got to deal with like 30 kids just for no other reason than names and place. It's like you're just dealing with different groups of people at different groups of times. So you just kind of learn how to deal with shit. And I learned pretty early on that I was like, oh, I'm not really going to be the one who's taken serious. But I could learn to, elicit the reaction. People would, if I could get ahead of the laughs, then we could be on the same page. So steering into the silliness of it. Probably just a strong defense mechanism, but I did work on it real good. I am anaerobically inclined to be defensively sarcastic.
Hey. We all need our defense mechanisms and weapons to be able to deal with like the weird social experience that growing up was.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
I still had fun, dog. Because, again, the whole point of skateboarding is to try and incorporate something different onto something that's already. So you deal with something that exists, and you're like, I'm gonna do some dope shit off of that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try and land it, and then you're not gonna land it for like 10 to 50 times, and then there's one time you're gonna land it, and you're gonna kind of squeal out. You're gonna be like, oh man, I was like that close, and I could probably land it better, and then you're gonna fuck up like 5 more times, and you might land it, and that's just what it is. It's just the whole point of progressing in something to make it different, like present your own spin on what is already existing. So out of like the 5 pieces, so like a lot of people would start, you try and do the run, so everyone's trying to like do their specific tricks. I started off in like the edge of like the walkway, and I got a running start, and I tried to do like so it's called a nollie. I tried to nollie off the top lip onto the flat ground. So like it's like a box. I go like this, and I try and land on the flat ground and land it. But everyone's like, oh. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Just kind of shuffled around with not enough momentum to really land any other tricks.
Don't forget to sign your artwork, guys.
Oh shoot. True.
Oh, who is coughing it up back there?
It's a wet cough, so it's not COVID.
I'm dead.
Probably AIDS, but not COVID, so that's a relief.
I'm so weak. But yeah, okay. Skater boy, huh? These skate competitions. Yeah, no, I think I got an ollie one time. Once. And a shove it. And that was it. That was the best I could do.
Yeah.
But you did a ollie.
Yeah.
That's
If you can get all 4.
It was once. It was once. And then I remember I used to be, it was in 7th grade. This was before, because I think I was just looking for something to do and something to get into at that point. Because it was, I tried out for like every fucking team I possibly could.
Yep, that seemed like you.
Did, softball is what had me which I thought I was going to be like a softball bitch. Like I was just going to be playing softball.
Could have seen
At that point. I was decent. Like, I'm fairly decent. Like, I could hit a ball. Like, I think with, like, the training and if I would have kept like going. But I found cheer and that seemed to be what really just like
Stuck.
did it for me. Because it was a little bit of everything that I liked. It's performance.
It's very active.
Yeah. It's athletic. You're going all year because it's like year-round sport.
Sure.
You're cheering for basketball, like you're cheering for football, you're cheering,
Yeah.
and so, and then you have competition season. So which was my favorite, but because that was like, and then you have your halftime shows and there's like school spirit involved. So you're doing pep rallies and you're involved with the school, and it seemed more than just the sport
It's a
itself.
very like engulfing
Yeah.
experience.
So, and that was like something that like I think that I really just was looking for, aside from all the like leadership programs and stuff that I was in when I was younger as well. Like I did a lot of church leadership programs, which are always very interesting, mind you. Doing church dance for church is very interesting.
Song selection must be real fun.
Like a dance team, yeah. Like we would do competitions
Like
and stuff.
liturgical, like praise dance type.
Yes, and it's like it's like that, and like no, there's these competitions.
When done well, it's one of the most amazing things you can see.
Yes, but when not, it's so cheesy.
When not,
and
it's
like
a
improv.
parody. Yeah,
it's improv.
Like, this is
It's
why.
like if it's good, it's so fun to watch. If it's
Yeah.
not, it's like almost like torture.
Yep.
I hate watching bad improv.
Yeah, that's fair.
Tell the CIA this is how we torture people now.
Bruh.
With bad improv.
Real shit.
But yeah, I just I was into a lot of stuff. So I definitely did I did tennis. I tried golf for a little bit. Golf, I was fairly decent, but I'm too angry for golf. I couldn't do it. I'm too angry, and like it was.
Sure.
I was in Arizona, so I was like, it's too fucking hot.
Girl.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing out here? Like, and like I'd miss, and I'd just be, and they're like, that's like, you're just supposed to. I'm like, relax. I want to beat someone with this fucking stick.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't belong here. So then I was like, this isn't for me. Like, I'm not like let's just be, I need a sport that I can like, like I need to scream.
Be
I need
aggressive.
to let this, yeah,
Be aggressive.
Exactly. I need to get this out. Like somehow, I need to be vocal about my competitive nature. But yeah, I really thought I was going to be a softball girl. That just kind of dwindled. I tried tennis in high school, and I was decent. Because it was my first year and I was a freshman, I was an alternate, and I had no previous experience. But the thing that was like shitty about that is just like my doubles partner at the time was my best friend, and she was terrible, and I was way too competitive, and she was very sensitive, and it's just like I broke a racket at our game because we lost so bad because I was the only one running to get the ball. I was just like, can I try singles but you do doubles, because we were both alternates, so that was how we got put in like a game or whatever. And I was just like, this might not be for me either because I am too angry to play tennis as well.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy playing tennis recreationally now. Like, it's a good little, as long as you have people that like can also kind of play, it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I'll fuck with mini golf, or I'll go to a shooting range or a driving range. Those are about as far as I want to go with golfing.
Top Golf is actually pretty fun. I seen they had one. We should go. It's a good time.
I've played the like Tiger Woods or PGA, whatever the golf games were available. I think I might have actually played one of the golf games with that Shane Gay kid. but a fucking that's kind of fun, like, because you can like understand the things that they have to pay attention to, but it gives you like the viewpoint of like the reason why they have to pay attention to that without having to guess and figure it out on the fly in natural weather.
The field is your
Yeah.
opponent.
Yeah, it's just you in the field. It's like even the crowd can't be a distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you really got his own
Gilmore, you suck.
bro. Shout out to Tiger Woods, friend of the show.
I'm so
I
dead.
think that's what was so amazing about him. Like,
Not a good enough friend to his wife.
that was a slight part of his amazement. Wow,
I don't know.
While
I think it's the CIA fucking with him.
I vehemently condemn like the cheating on his wife, but man, after he did that, for him to still be able to come back and like be a great golf player, that's Jordan-esque. Like, I think that makes Tiger one of our greatest athletes.
Yeah.
Let's see what others.
But yeah, he's like the only black dude playing against a bunch of white dudes, so.
Bruh, for real. and managed to become like one of the most, if not the most recognizable figure in that field with a bunch of shit working against him. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I would say I would argue that he's the most recognizable for sure. You could try and argue Arnold Palmer, but maybe
The drink?
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
That's the only reason.
Exactly.
Phil Mickelson, fucking maybe,
But yeah, I mean, Woods, man, he's
Wink, wink, wink.
just different.
Nah, let's see, I'm trying to, oh yeah, track. I did track and field. Bro, the worst thing that ever happened to me. Are you guys ready for it? Okay, it's not
Sure.
the worst. It's obviously not the worst. There's much worse things that have
But
happened
it,
to me. Actually,
the
I have
bottom, just the bottom 5 moment.
I have a list. No, it's just like probably the most memorable, embarrassing moment of something that I probably shouldn't have been embarrassed about,
Yeah,
but
right.
was.
Yeah.
Those things that you think back, like, oh, how silly the things that we
Care about, put emphasis
yeah,
on.
because the truth is, like, I feel like other people in my position use this as a thing to get attention.
Sure.
And it was just something that made me feel very weak and incompetent. One of the girls that was supposed to run the mile was like suspended or something, or she just didn't show up. But they were like, oh, we need someone to run the mile. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And now, mind you, I did the dash, the 4x4.
Yeah. Relay?
The relay.
Don't you have asthma?
I do have.
That's the TK
Babe,
special.
I'm getting
Oh,
there
shoot,
to my
my bad.
asthma.
My bad. I stepped on that punchline. My bad.
So here's the thing
Please
with
edit that in
asthma.
post.
I'm actually like a decent runner. I'm not, by no means do I think I'm a fast runner or a long distance runner. I definitely can do some short spurts.
Sure.
You got the
You got a
form.
good first
And,
step.
yeah, and
You know,
back
good
then, and I
burst.
do enjoy, like, I used to love jogging. Like, that's what I would do to just like clear my mind and
I've
jog
never
outside.
had that
It's-
thought.
Here's why. I think it's more so jogging, not in a gym. It's jogging outside, which, you know, I'd always carry my inhaler with me. And again, pacing myself and doing short bursts and being like, okay, I'm going to run to this point and then walk the rest out. And then
Yeah.
just, you know, like I'll jog a little bit. And I try to build endurance and like you exercise your lungs, you know, you work on your breathing and stuff and you try to get better. And it was a big thing for me. Mostly due to the fact that I did have asthma and this whole traumatic story that I promise I'll get back to. But yeah, it's just a matter of feeling like you're running away from like what you feel is chasing you, I think, where it's just like, I'm gonna run to the point where like my problems can't find me here because I'm thinking about the fact that I might fucking die because I can't breathe.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think that's kind of, and it was more like, it's always been more of a like, I'm just so frustrated, I'm so lost in life, and just pushing forward and pushing through that physical pain and feeling like you're doing something mentally as well, and kind of like merging the two to feel like you can do this and you just have to just keep pushing through it. And it was just kind of like a reminder for me, like that's what running was for me. And by no means was I, again, I'm not fast. I don't do long distance like that. Like I mean, I guess, but like I would run like 5 miles sometimes, but like that was like a there and then back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did the relay, and I was like, I think it was like third position, like, which means like I really wasn't that fast because they're not putting me in the beginning to get the head start, and they're not putting me at the end to make sure that like I'm the like middle person where it's just like doesn't really necessarily matter as long as you're fast enough, especially when you're in junior high. So and then the shot put. But so they were like, we need someone to run the mile. So and so didn't show up, right? So I was like, oh, coach, I'll do it. And she looked at me and she was like, are you sure? Because she knew how I treated the mile when we had to do it for school, because she was also our gym teacher. Now, mind you, I think Miss Lackey just loved me because I think she knew I was a good kid at heart. And so she like was really like rooting for me a lot of the times. But she's like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, coach, I can do it. And I think she just seen how excited I was and was just like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I could do it for sure. And I was like, it doesn't matter if like I win or anything, right? You know, and she's like, yeah, no, like just, you know, we just need to fill this space so that we don't get disqualified for whatever, you know? And so I was like, all right, cool. So I go and I take off with the other girls. And I'm running at like not even, and she's like, just remember to pace yourself. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. Okay. I don't know what, like, I was like, yeah, for sure. So I'm like here trying to keep up with these other kids. And I get like halfway around, like beyond the point, because I'm used to doing like the short sprint. So I take off in the sprint, like, and I'm like, yeah.
You reach that first corner.
And then I'm like,
second corner.
Fuck, I'm starting to like have a full blown fucking asthma attack. It's the middle of summer in Arizona. So it's just like allergies and asthma are like at an all time, like, you're gonna fucking die, bro. So I'm like, I'm going, and I'm like, I'm trying to play it cool, you know? And I like, at one point, I just start fucking walking. And like, everybody had finished. I'm barely on my second lap. And I'm like trying to breathe. And then I get to a point where like, I feel like no one can see me, and I'm like crying because I can't fucking breathe, and I'm like, you know, like just like having that like, oh dude, fucking snot, and just gasping for air. My face is beat fucking red. There's tears in my eyes. I'm like 12 at this point, like, and I'm like, my mom sees me, and she's like, it's okay, you don't have to finish it, you know? And the gym teacher sees me and she's like, you know, you don't have to finish, right? Let's take you to the nurse. And like, so it was like a whole thing, and I was so embarrassed, and because everyone's looking like, is this bitch okay? Like, is she gonna die? And of course it's more like concern. It's not to like make fun of me. I
but
look
all
like
of the
I'm
eyes on
yes,
you.
and I'm like, oh my God, everyone thinks that I can't run. Bitch, why do you care that you're about to fucking collapse because you are gasping for air? But I was just so mortified that that wasn't the first time that was the first time that I publicly had an asthma attack like that. It wasn't the last time though. I definitely had another asthma attack similar and was just as embarrassed, but mostly because it was my freshman year at like our like spring fling like day or whatever. So it's basically like a carnival that they throw for everyone, where like they bring in like those blow up like sumo wrestler things and like the boxing things bags, and like it's just like cotton candy stands, all that like cool shit or whatever. And so like everyone's like outside, you know, like we're all outside again. It's Arizona. It's fucking hot because it's like, you know, it's spring, and spring in Arizona means it's 80 fucking degrees outside.
Did they
At
make you
least.
do the multi-level marketing stuff where you're like door-to-door salesman to do that?
No,
In
I
Florida they did.
think really.
Yeah, in order
So
to
it's
get
like
the field
selling
day stuff. Yeah.
selling like candies and shit.
There were candies, cookies. There were just like
Cheesecake.
yeah, there was all kinds of
Oh, okay, yeah,
One
yeah,
time
yeah.
it was a coupon
Cheesecake
book.
used to be good.
Yeah.
No, our PTA was pretty like on it with shit like that. But yeah, so it was like
Cheesecakes was really good.
our little, I'm so dead, our little spring fling thing. And so there's this one girl who everyone's like, oh, she's tough. She was like taking boxing classes or whatever. And so people were like, oh, you guys should box, like me and her. And was like betting on who was gonna fucking win, right?
The girl with the training
Wow.
versus the girl that don't have the training.
But here's the thing, I was a tough bitch, and I was like, I could take her. I was like, girl, you better stop playing with me. You know, so we was like, we was talking shit. I was like, I don't care. I was like, bitch, I'm not scared. Like, I'm not scared to go in there. Like, but like, it was turned into that whole thing where it's just like, oh, like half of me kind of knew that it was too hot, and I was already kind of having a hard time breathing before I even like went in there, you
Did
know?
you have a blade or something?
Babe, no. It was like I was cool with the girl though,
Oh,
but that's
okay,
why.
okay.
And it was
like
like
an
other
exhibition.
people. Yeah, like other people wanted to see us fight.
Mm,
It's just stupid shit
You
that
just had a
like
weapon.
people.
Oh, you
just in
never
case.
just had a random fight in the bathroom just for no fucking reason?
I have, but I was aware that these motherfuckers might have weapons.
I'm so dead. No, but it was like she was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Like it's just fun and like it's spring fling, you know, we'll be all right." But that's why I was so embarrassed because like we're punching, I get a couple good, and then she hits me in the like right here, and like
Right
knocks
all the way.
Ugh.
yes,
Ugh.
and I was already like, and it was like in this like bounce house thing, and you had to wear the headgear, and I'm already overheating, I'm already struggling breathing, and I'm exerting myself, you know, like outside. It's the same situation as trying to run this fucking mile. And so like I'm going, and she can't hear me, and I'm like, stop, I can't breathe. Like I was like, I can't breathe, like, and I'm trying to tell her, and so it looks like she's just like I pretty much like go like almost limp, and like she's just fucking me up. She's just fucking me up, like wailing on me, and I'm like so embarrassed, and I'm like trying to protect my head and trying to fucking catch my breath.
Bro.
And so she finally can see, because her little, like I had knocked her like head thing a little
okay,
bit, so
okay,
she
okay,
couldn't really,
yeah.
like her vision was a little fucked up. So when she finally like could like see that I was like, girl, no, like, yes, you're fucking me up, but because like also, which I don't even care if you win or not, bitch. I'm probably gonna die. Like, I can't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like just on the floor, like gasping for air, and everybody's like, whoa, what? You know, just like everybody. And so she's feeling the energy of the people that was telling us to fight, and like we're just talking shit before, so they're kind of. And I was just so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed because I was just like, oh, if this was a real fight, I would fucking beat your ass. I swear to God. You know, just like that, like angry little kid. And then you're just like, bitch, that's your friend. Stop. Like, it's just for fun. Like, don't be toxic. Like, you know, just having those inner battles with yourself where you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm still human, but it's just like stupid shit. But yeah, so she fucking sees and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't. And she just felt so bad. She
Yeah.
felt so bad. And I felt so bad that she had to like even like, cause she's thinking that she just like beat me to the point where I'm just, you know, like, and I'm like, girl, no, like I got asthma, like I can't fucking breathe. So the ambulance comes, the one that was already on site that has to be there for fucking, and I'm sitting in the back of the fucking ambulance truck with an oxygen mask on my face, and I'm just like crying and trying to hide my face because I'm so fucking embarrassed that like I just got my ass beat, like with in a fucking jump house, you know, like because of my asthma and I can't breathe. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. And I was talking all that shit.
They had headgear like it was designed for kids to punch each other in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like those oversized like gloves.
Okay.
Like those oversized like
Sock 'em boppers.
Yeah, it was like that. So that's where I'm just like, we weren't really like fighting each other. Like, yeah, you could still pack a punch with that.
Okay.
Because I did definitely knock her headgear like a little bit, like, because it wasn't, yeah. Yeah, it's just those things. It's not like, it's the way oversized ones, you know?
Getting the wind knocked out of you and trying to stay on your feet is.
Bro, and then adding the weather and everything else on top of that was just, it was too much. And I don't know why I felt it was even necessary to prove anything. Like, it's so stupid, but you know.
Usually when you're that age, it's never really necessary to prove anything, but we tell ourselves that it is at that time. Because, like, in our head, we're warriors and shit.
Bro, and
Yeah.
it's so dumb. It was so dumb. But yeah, dude, I was so fucking embarrassed. And it was on a Friday, so thankfully I didn't have to deal with my entire class just being like, oh, I heard what happened, blah, 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 you know?
I've been there before. I was like 17, 16. I was in a tournament and like, man, this dude hit me so hard, bro. But like everybody was watching, so I was just like, that shit felt like a fucking cupcake. That shit was a love tap. That shit was a love tap.
I didn't feel nothing.
Bro, after that match, I was like, I mean, I won, but that boy, man, still to this day, even like in street fights, I've never been hit that hard before. Like, it's tough.
Damn.
But like your childhood toxicity makes it as to where you feel like you can't show any sort of pain.
Bro, and it's so insane too. Because you're just like, why? Why are we like that?
Yeah, like when you really didn't need to be.
You don't want to show vulnerability.
Oh,
Because again, you don't. It's so new because you've never really experienced stuff like that. So just being able to push past, like, because you don't know what any of it really is. It's like, oh, I feel threatened, so I'm the barrier.
Yeah.
Go Tasmanian devil on them. You don't even have to say words. Just be a ball of energy.
And it didn't help that I was just watching a lot of wrestling at the time that probably wasn't the best for a kid's psyche. Like one time in school, like me and this dude was in this argument and I headbutted him like Kurt Angle did when he debuted in Impact.
Yeah, headbutts are insane.
It was just like, why did I do that? Like what? That was the first thing my grandma's like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no one really wins in a headbutt.
bro.
At all. But yeah, I will say though, like after I had that oxygen mask on me, I was just like, I had to go take a test like after that or whatever because it was during like our like lunch period that we could go and like go to the fair or whatever. Yeah. I had a test. And I was just like, I don't know what it is, guys, but I'm convinced that oxygen makes you smarter because I was just really able to, like, focus. And I'm like, do I have, like, am I depriving my brain of oxygen? And do I need more oxygen to really just, perform at my peak, for my brain to really just, am I, like, And then that had me really think, because I got the test back on Monday, and I think I only missed like one question or something like that, and I was just like, I think there's because I was feeling like more alert and everything, and I was like, this is weird, but I think it's a good weird that I feel like this. I was convinced. I was telling my mom too. I was like, I think that oxygen tank just really did. It really amped up my brain, and she just laughed at me like, "Oh gosh, Monica Rose, you're so." I was like, "No, Mom. I think we need to get one. I think we should just have oxygen on deck. Like,
Wow.
it might really just help us. Because if you think about it, we breathe in oxygen, and maybe we're just not getting enough."
Shit.
And she was like, "Monica, just I can't with you right now." I was like,
Wow.
"Okay."
Wow.
I was like, "Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably being." But oxygen bars are like a thing though too. So
Yeah, that is true. Oxygen bars are a thing. I might. We should hit one up one day. So when everybody is done with their painting, will we tell the audience what the inspiration behind these paintings were?
yeah,
Awesome.
of course we will. All right, are we ready to light it up?
Are we ready to light it up and showcase to the world
Yes.
the artistic expression of our mind's eye? I think we're ready.
Sky, how are you doing over there, bud?
Oh, I'm just getting started.
I'm so weak. We're losing.
Just give me 1 second. Putting finishing touches on mine, I'll go ahead and showcase mine off first. It's a llama. My inspiration was llamas and sheep, because you know, I'm not entirely sure if they're actually fully white, but I didn't feel like trying to incorporate to make a off beige color thing and have a spitting alpaca coming at me. But you know, I tried to make the saddle look a little more worn. Tried to make sure just did finally occur to me to like actually get the detail of the same color as for the hooves and the mouth to go translate, and the
Nice.
saddle to translate on that side. I didn't go all the way on the other side. I did sign it. I said ride with we. I was gonna say ride with me, but then I put a W. I was like,
Is that why
well,
you were over there cracking up earlier?
Yes, because I just straight fucking went with a W instead of an M. So now it's ride with we.
Ride with we.
Nice.
Yes.
I appreciate your
Did
dedication
that.
to the product.
Did that.
Project.
It's a new toy for Sassy to scratch at.
Yeah, it's not quite as chewable as she'd like, but I'm sure she'll find a way to rub up against it and make things real awkward.
I see.
All right, babe, give us yours.
Okay. Low keys to the cabinet. Purple door. Multicolored sides. Low key, what inspired this was death surprise, because one of my compatriots passed away was murdered like 4 days ago on the block. They were just sitting out there. They were just sitting on crates shooting the shit. Somebody came through and sprayed the sidewalk.
Wow, for real?
No, yeah.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
real shit. And it really got me thinking a lot about death, but more specifically Black death, and just how cops definitely contribute to it. The government definitely contributes to it. However, I do believe that we as a community help them. And I do think that we have to find a way to realize that regardless if we know this person or not, that right across from us, that is our brother and that is our sister. And we can't scream Black Lives Matter if we don't live Black Lives Matter. And regardless of street shit, gang beef, or whatever, we need to learn how to protect each other. So I put love on the back of it, just because I feel like love is something that we need to have more prominently within our community, because, like, you know, Miami-Dade shouldn't be a war zone, and mamas shouldn't be losing their sons over stupid shit. He was only 32, and honestly, that shit is really just the beginning, truthfully. So it was sad to see that. It was sad to hear about it. And basically, these colors on the side, that I tried so hard to make look presentable. It's just when I see red, green, and yellow up against black, it just makes me think about black people stuff for some reason.
I think it has something to do with Kwanzaa.
There you go.
I think a lot of those colors end up translating.
And then too, it's Dave Chappelle, the logo, the color of his logo, so like that also
fucking
helps.
Martin.
And so basically, this is kind of like what I tried to do was like paint arrows that were like moving forward on this side, because I feel like I don't know what the community needs, and I won't claim that I do, but I think that even the most out of touch person knows that we got to be able to move forward, and to be able to do that is to be able to get past like all of the petty ass street beefs and shit. So my hope is that we can move forward and move upwards. And the reason why I painted the door purple is because, purple is the color of royalty, and purple also made me think about black stuff, more specifically the black church. It's just a black church color. And so, the only way I feel like we're going to really be able to truly be the kings and queens that we are is through loving each other and trying to transcend beyond, like, all of the petty, like, hood foolishness. So that's what inspired this. What about you, Mo?
First, my condolences, honestly. Wish you would have told me before.
I mean,
today,
right? Yeah, you
but
had this whole concept of like heavy topics, and you wait until the end of it.
I mean, because partly I was just really just trying to just reconcile, like, how I was feeling, like, about this shit. Like, 'cause it's just like, fuck, really? Like, for real? Like, we still doing
we're
this
still
shit?
doing this,
Like,
yeah.
come on, y'all. But yeah.
Wow, yeah. So mine doesn't really have any good meaning.
I mean, I will also re-reference llama.
Okay. Appreciate. So I got the jewelry box. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
So I thought I would call it it's a little monster box. So yeah, I didn't really shade it as much as I would have wished, but I felt like we were running out of daylight end time, so I just kind of slapped it on there. I don't know if he's a vampire or like what he is, but he's got issues in the eyes.
He got them fangs, though.
Yeah, and there's nothing really impressive painted on the inside, honestly. It's just white.
Can you do the chomping effect?
But yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that was oh man, that's what I should. That's
I know.
what I was. Damn it!
It's still
The
dope.
teeth were
It's
supposed to be.
still
I knew
dope.
I was gonna
It's
do
still
it backwards
dope.
too, because I was like, no, I fucked up
It's still dope.
with the alligator. The alligator, I did the same thing, and I'm like, so I was like, the teeth are supposed to be on the top, so that when but whatever.
Yeah.
He just those are his bottom teeth. He's a monster. Don't judge his anatomy. It's not anatomically correct, but that's fine.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm pretty confident you could still find a way to make that work.
Yeah, maybe I'll give him teeth on the top too. And they'll just be,
Yeah.
or just leave it. It's still wet, babe.
Oh, my bad. Nah, I fuck
You
with
can
the
grab that.
blood.
Oh yeah, I put a little
fuck
blood
with it,
here.
girl.
Like, I've been
I say
watching
let it
a
be as
vampire
is.
show, so that I'm not proud that I'm like super into it. Because
Oh
it's
my
really
gosh,
not that
it's
good.
So
Dairy.
melodramatic. Oh my gosh.
But I love it. I
But
love the drama.
They do have some good concepts. I'm not gonna
They
lie. I can't
do.
judge nobody. I watched Smallville for 11 years, so I can't judge.
I'm so dead. But
Can't
yeah,
judge
so
anybody.
I'm like super into it right now. So maybe that was the inspiration for it. Not a really cool inspiration, but an inspiration nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it opens. I'll just put a little face on it. So yeah. Sky Guy.
I got this serving tray thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rainbow,
Okay.
all the
Right.
colors. I use all the paints that we have,
Okay.
and it's like kind of like a peace sign because it has the three
Uh-huh.
things or whatever, and it's like in homage, and it's round. It's like an homage to Monica's cousin, and
I mean,
it's supposed to be like a rainbow or
At
whatever.
least he
It's
didn't
like a,
draw it on there.
Yeah.
Well. Please. Stop being inappropriate about my cousin.
No, I mean like as like a celebratory, like I'm celebrating
Yeah, that doesn't make
The-
it less weird.
the yeah, it's my art.
Yeah.
That's the thing about art. It's like vulnerable and
do you? Okay. Okay.
the greatest artists cut their ears
Who-
off and stuff and send them to hosts. So
who was Monica's cousin, Skylar? Because
Chris,
okay, Chris. Okay, you talking about Chris?
yeah.
All right. Okay.
I just needed to make sure that he
I just,
actually talking about an actual person.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I'm so weak. These boys, these kids.
Oh well.
We made it. We made it
We
through
did
the,
it, y'all.
We
the
did.
crap.
Hell yeah.
We did that.
We did.
We really
Next
did
time,
that.
I think figuring out time restraints. I should probably figure that out.
You
I
know.
think I'll prep a little bit more for
mean,
It's
next
all good.
week.
We're
You was-
growing.
you was
We're
in
learning.
flow.
We're
You was
doing
in flow. I
things.
can't stop you.
We've created this. Art doesn't necessarily have a clock on it. So we did it, and hopefully you can feel accomplished in doing something. Hopefully this was an accomplishment. Hopefully it wasn't like homework. Peace, love, and llamas, everybody. I think we can all start our claps at 1, 2, 3. Ow, almost. Okay.